I'm gonna show you a step-by-step tutorial how you can start your own drop servicing business. And I'm gonna show you these things in this video. Choosing a service niche, choosing a market niche, creating an offer, finding clients, creating an invoice and getting paid a deposit. This is what you're seeing on the screen right now. Hiring freelancers, fulfilling the service, getting paid the final amount, and also concluding the order and trying to win repeat orders from the same clients. So your clients compound and you can make money in potentially a recurring nature. So first of all, guys, if you want to make money with drop servicing, just very quickly, let's talk about what drop servicing is and how can you actually make money with this business model. So first of all, let's just say we go on this website called Fiverr.com and search, for example, for web design. Once you search that, just choose any of the listings and we're gonna quickly go through some examples how you could potentially make money with drop servicing in the web design niche. So I found a potential listing where the person is claiming that he can make a website for $300. On this website, Fiverr.com, you can buy services from all kinds of freelancers all over the world. And once you buy these services, you can find a client elsewhere, for example, in the US, in the UK, in Australia, in New Zealand, or perhaps in countries where English is not spoken, so in Germany, France. But it has to be a Western market where people are spending a lot of money. It could be, for example, Singapore. It could be Hong Kong. It doesn't have to be just the English-speaking countries. So what happens, essentially, if you find a client who is happily paying you, let's say, $1,500 to make a, usual small business website, right? You would essentially make $1,200 profit. That's the most basic principle how drop servicing works. And I've personally made thousands of dollars with this business model over the last few years. Okay. So as you can see, guys, at this price point, you would make $1,200. If you're able to find a client at a higher price point, let's say $1,900, right? You would make $1,600. So the higher your price, the more you're going to make. And also here, you can find cheaper suppliers or more expensive suppliers. So the cheaper the supplier and the higher price you're getting from the client, the more you're going to make. This business model used to be called service arbitrage about 4 or 5 years ago. Nowadays, it's known as drop servicing. And you're currently watching one of the biggest channels on YouTube, which is dedicated to drop servicing. So you're getting absolutely the best value. So with this knowledge, now you may think to yourself, okay, this is great, but why on earth somebody would buy from me? Like, why don't they just go on this website, Fiverr.com, right, and just buy it at $300? Why would somebody pay me, let's say, $1,900 to create a website? The reality is, regardless of where you live, if you live in the US, UK, India, France, Germany, doesn't matter. Go on a street and talk to an average person. Do you know what Fiverr is? Can you order a website on Fiverr? How would you choose a supplier on Fiverr? Or do you know Upwork.com? Have you ever bought a website design from Upwork.com? Most people would be like, what are you talking about? I've never heard of these websites. I know Facebook. I know, let's say, I don't know, Twitter. I know Google.com. And, maybe I know Instagram. That's it. I don't really buy any websites. That's how usual, regular, everyday people think. They have absolutely no clue about these websites. Okay, let's be real. And also, with these websites like Fiverr, what essentially happens is we're also providing a service of choosing a good, right supplier and managing this process. So we don't put together client and the supplier. We never do that. In any of the conversations that you do with your clients, you also should not say that you are drop servicing or you're reselling someone else's services. How you should essentially call yourself is you're an agency. So if somebody says, okay, great, so you could sell me a website, or let's say if you are going for the video editing, you could make me some video edits. So are you a video editor? Typically, it's better if you say, I have a small agency and I have a team, and I have people working for me. So with my marketing agency, I'm able to create you a web design. Don't say I have a supplier somewhere in India or Pakistan or whatever the country the supplier you choose is from. Typically, the people on Fiverr who provide really good prices are from India, Pakistan, and similar kind of countries. Okay. With this in mind, you now may think to yourself, okay, this is great. Now I get why people might want to buy from me, because they don't know about Fiverr. But is that it? Surely they could just go on Google and they could find Fiverr. They could find Upwork. That is true. But also, a lot of people, especially in the Western markets, are just lazy. Yes, they could go on Fiverr. They could do a lot of research, talk to these suppliers, buy from them and do all this stuff. They could do that, but they're busy, they're lazy, and also a lot of people will make a lot of money. They have small businesses. They just don't have the time to deal with web design. They want somebody who's going to come to them, offer the service to them. They have something in mind, like a budget that they're happy to spend for that. They're happily spending it on your service, right? They don't want to do anything themselves. They're just lazy, And sometimes even I get to these same thoughts. I've personally hired people who message me, for example, on my email, even though I'm doing drop servicing. But sometimes, I give a chance for somebody who says, for example, I want to make better thumbnails for you. Sometimes I give them a chance because I want to see what they are able to come up with. Okay. And also, sometimes I'm just lazy. Like I wanna see what other people can do for me when I just pay money and do nothing. Okay. And I'm in drop servicing space, so I can do whatever I want because I've worked in web design, in video editing, in graphic design, brand identity, app development, most of the major niches. Okay. So even I sometimes get lazy and try different kind of services. So think about an average business owner somewhere in Philadelphia, California, New York. They just really have no clue and they have no desire to really go on and mess around with these suppliers and these things. Okay. That's, guys, why drop servicing business model actually works. Now, what happens and how can you actually start this business model? So what is the first step? So as I said, firstly, we're going to talk about choosing a service niche. Okay. How can you choose a service niche? And what do I even mean? Service niche. Niche basically means where you are specializing in. Okay. Most of the time, if you start any kind of a business, right, the last thing you want is to be a super, super generic business, a generalized business where I do graphic design, I do logo design, I do video editing, I do, let's say, web design, app development. I get these emails all the time sent to me because I have a YouTube channel. A lot of people see my content and they send me a lot of offers. Every single day I'm getting offers. If I see somebody who's razor sharp focused on one service, for example, they say, Tom, I'm interested in, helping you out with your thumbnails or your video editing or whatever. And here's my portfolio. Please check it out. Maybe if you're interested, get back to me. Sometimes I do check it out. Sometimes I reply. Sometimes I don't because I just have too many communications. All creators think the exact same way. Okay. But if I get an email which says, hi, Mr. Tom Zalatoris, blah, blah, blah. We are a marketing agency. We do, video editing, graphic design. We do SEO. We also do Google ads, Facebook ads. We also do, short form content. We do web design. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, man. Yeah, you're doing everything, right? You're doing all the niches in the world. What are you good at? Okay, what are you actually doing? Because if you're doing everything, you're doing absolutely nothing. So choosing a service niche simply means what is the thing that you're actually going to specialize in? Because yes, in the future, you could offer more services once you have a big agency, once you have, I don't know, 10 team members, at least 5 team members. Maybe you can start offering other services. But initially, typically as a beginner, my advice to a beginner in drop servicing business model is always choose one or worst case, two niches. You don't want to do more than that. Trust me, I've been doing drop servicing for years, 5 or so years at the moment. So what are the niches that you could go into? Very quickly, not going to go into too much details. Logo design, brand style, or brand identity. I'm actually going to show you an example of this as well very shortly. Web design, okay? You could also go into the digital marketing space and, for example, work in, let's say, video marketing, well, mostly like video editing, essentially. But you could also work in video marketing. So that would be creating videos for small businesses, And also, of course, short form content, okay? And finally, you could go into ads, okay? So you could go into Google ads, TikTok ads, Instagram ads, and things like that. So just to recap, graphic design, video editing, short form video editing, Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and things like that. Okay, these are like the main kind of in web design. These are the things that most beginners go into. There's a lot more niches, as you can see. There's hundreds of niches. You could go into SEO, into copywriting, into all kinds of things, animations as well, right? So there's a lot of niches, but typically people go into the niches that I just described because they're easiest to get into. Now, the second thing is you need to think about, okay, so once you choose one or two niches, right, you need to think about, okay, so that's great, but what am I selling to? Second step is going to be choosing a market niche. Okay, what do I mean by choosing a market niche? I've actually mentored one guy not that long ago who was from Philadelphia in the United States. So we worked together for a few weeks, and we worked in this market. We looked at all kinds of businesses, and I want to show you Philadelphia's market as an example how I would approach it to choose a market niche. So you should do the exact same thing regardless of where you actually want to do drop servicing. Maybe you want to go into, I don't know, any other state, maybe Washington, maybe Dallas, Kansas, any town, any city, doesn't really matter. It could be a different country. The process is more or less the same. So let's just say we go into Philadelphia, right? And we want to start looking at some local businesses. What are the businesses that really could benefit from any of the niches that we just talked about? Okay, so web design, okay, video editing, Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads. Think to yourself, what kind of businesses could benefit from these kind of services? Okay, so let's look at this one, for example. Fine wine and good spirits. What we could do, we could create a website, right? Okay, let's look at this one. So essentially, we're using Google Maps to start finding some local businesses in the area where you want to market your business. Let's look at this one. Department store. So the key in this research is you want to find a business that is actually not too big and is not part of a chain. For example, Dunkin'. This business is part of a large chain. That's not good because you're never going to sell anything to these kind of businesses. They have layers upon layers of corporate management, and you have receptionists and gatekeepers that would never or in a very, very long time would be able to approve some order to pay you. Okay, so that's not good. Same with McDonald's and similar kinds of businesses. And the chains exist not just in the restaurant space, right? They exist in everything. In some medical clinics, dental clinics could be chains as well. Auto shops, auto dealerships could be chains. Hotels could be chains. So the key, again, is finding small businesses from 5 to 20 employees, family-owned businesses, okay? And to those businesses, it's going to be very easy to reach a decision maker, so you can very quickly send an offer and see if you can actually, make money from them, and of course, offer them a good service. So let's scroll around and decide, okay, what kind of business we would potentially want to talk to. Let's look at this one. Pet Health Center. Okay, interesting, right? Let's go to the website and see, okay, what could we offer this business? Okay, so we just spoke about some potential niches. So, pause for 1 second and think about what could you actually offer? If you were doing drop servicing now, what could you offer? Did you have some ideas? Well, I can give you some ideas because I've looked at so many of these kind of, businesses across the US and the UK, New Zealand. I'm mentoring one guy in New Zealand right now, another guy in France, some people in the UK, another guy in Portugal, one more person, two guys actually in Netherlands. So I'm working with so many people right now on a weekly basis. Every single week, I've got people that I'm mentoring. So I'm working with them and trying to help them to gain their first clients, how to set up the business and things like that. Plus, I'm also working with my own clients. So what did this kind of business would typically need? More clients. Because look at this, request your pet's appointment today. This just simply says, please register and, pay us some money. This is essentially an invite for you to join, to schedule an appointment, right? So what this information gives us is that they need Google ads, right? They need Instagram ads, they need Facebook ads potentially to bring traffic to this website. And if we do that, of course, we can give them more appointments and ultimately more clients. Secondly, if you look at this website, think to yourself for just a couple of seconds. Is this a good website? What would you really think? Bro, come on. Like, do you think it's a good one? I really don't think it's a good one. I think it's actually quite bad. Even though it seems to be updated because it says, this current year, right? But it really just feels like it's from, 5 or 7 years ago. It's just really old school. So that's one thing. We could offer them the exact same thing that we were talking about, a new web design, okay? And why is this a good business? Because think to yourself, do you think this is part of a large chain? Probably not. I would need to do more research, but it looks like it's a small business to me. And also, it looks like this could be one of the, the founders, perhaps, right? Because it looks super, super intimate, and it looks really nice. It doesn't have that corporate, soulless style on here, right? I can just feel it's like a small business, right? That's a good thing. That's exactly what I want. This is one of the criteria that I was telling you about. And also, what do you think is the other good thing about this business? It's just an example, right? Is this the fact that I see some really cute kittens? No, that's not the thing. It's the thing that, Pet Health Center somewhere in the US, in this case in Philadelphia, is definitely making some good money, because these kind of things cost a lot of money, okay? If you just need a simple operation for your pets, probably is going to be a few $100. These guys are probably making, I would say, between 20 grand probably to 50 grand a month, at least, I think, okay? And, I'm talking about profit, by the way. I don't think this would be sales. I think 20 to 50 grand in profit, gross profit before taxes per month would be my very, very basic estimation. If it's, if it's not a chain, if it's a family-owned business, and things like that. What can they afford, right? What kind of service can they really afford? I mean, what can they not afford? That's, I think they can afford whatever. They can afford running Google ads. They can afford running Facebook ads, right? They can afford creating a new website, which desperately needs to be a new website. It does not look good. It looks super, super old school. Okay, what else do we know? What else do we know about this business? Well, it has videos on there. That's great. What does it tell us? Maybe they need some promotional video about the company. By the way, I really like these kittens, but it could be even better, right? Also, they have some photos on there. Maybe they need some new photos taken. You never know, okay? And how could you do that? How could you actually even create some content for the business that is also possible, for example, in the location where you actually live? So, for example, if you live in the US and you want to drop service in your state, you could hire a local video maker to actually make some photos and videos. Then he gives you the footage, right? And then you use Fiverr, for example, to edit that footage and then provide it to a business. So that option is also there. But this only works if you want to drop service in your local area. So guys, now what else could we do? Could we do, for example, some content, organic content? Yeah, we could do. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go to their Facebook and we're going to check how their organic content is looking as well. Okay, so basically, 9 hours ago was the last post, which is a good sign. Okay, so they're active on Facebook. They're posting something there. So they probably have a full-time person, or maybe one of their employees is actually dealing with these posts. So we've got 2 likes on this one. 3 days ago, we've got 1 like. Okay, we've got 2 likes again 6 days ago. 1 like there, 1 like there. Okay, and we go down, 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 and what do we see? 1 like, 2 like. Do you see a little bit of a problem here? Well, guess what the problem is? Is that this kitten is too cute? Is that the problem? No, it's not. It's the fact that there is no engagement. Look, 1 like, 3 likes, 1, there's no engagement. Does it mean that they're creating very, very good content? I don't think so. I think the content could be way better. Then they would get more followers, more likes, more engagement, and of course, more business. Because, guess what? People nowadays, they find a lot of businesses through Facebook, through LinkedIn, and things like that. Okay? So we can offer them organic Facebook posting. How can we do that? Facebook posts, let's say manager. Types keywords like this. And for example, I will be your social media manager and things like that. Okay, let's see. So let's say 30 days management, daily post tag, hashtags, marketing, and things like that. $280 per month. Do you think that these guys are spending less than $280 a month right now? I don't think so. I think they're spending more because this person who is creating this content, if he is, working in this business, veterinary, right? He must be on a high salary unless they have some administrator who is not a doctor and things like that. But then still, he's spending time, okay? And he's not even getting any results because most of the posts are not getting almost any engagement, right? So what we can do is we can contact this business and say, I can offer better social media strategy than you currently have on your Facebook page. You're getting very little interaction from your clients, very little engagement, So I can offer you a much better strategy. And let's just say we're going to say at $560 a month, okay? So what essentially going to happen is you're going to add the supplier as an admin to this page. You're going to add yourself as an admin to this page, and you're going to buy it on here. As soon as your client pays you the first month's fee, you're essentially going to make $280 a month from doing almost nothing by just securing that client, okay? And it may seem like, okay, this is not that much money, right? But some niches have very high income potential from one-time order, and other niches are more recurring where the profit builds up over time. So if you had, let's say, 10 clients paying you $280, right? Where you're doing organic content posting, you would make $2,800 in profit per month. And you're not really doing that much work because each of your accounts is managed by a dedicated social media manager. Can you see how this business can compound, and over time you start making more and more money and you're not really working that hard? Okay. That's why I liked this business model when I started it a few years ago. So let's just say you start with this package, okay? I really want to talk to you guys about another service that is really, really good. So I was talking about Google Ads not that long ago in this video. So what we can do, we can actually advertise on Google Maps on behalf of this business. So let's say they pay us $2,000, right, per month, okay? We're gonna spend $1,000, let's say, for the budget. So on the actual Google ads, right? It should be connected to their card, the Google Ads account. So it's charging from their card. That's the appropriate way. So essentially, they're spending 2,000. 1,000 is spent on the ads, and another 1,000 we have, right? So, and what happens with that 1,000? Well, since we're doing drop servicing, we're gonna spend about $500 fulfilling the ads service. Again, let's go on here and type in Google Ads, right? And we need to find a Google Ads manager. Let's just say this is just an example, okay? So, more or less, just under a month, $350. If you message this guy and say, 30 days, can we do that 400? Probably yes. So, if we have 1,000 left minus 400, you're making $600 a month from just one client. And you have a manager who is actually managing the account, auditing the account, creating the campaign, setting up, managing, tracking on the website. So it says website event tracking. Each event can be tracked. For example, somebody goes on this website, clicks on this link, let's say leaves an email and things like that. Okay. And then you're making again $600 per month from just one client. Get 5 clients like these, you're making $3,000 a month in clear profit. Guys, as you can see, this business model is actually very profitable and also does not require that much work. So I just gave you a few ideas what you could actually offer to a local pet health center. What other kinds of businesses you could contact? You could contact law firms, real estate agencies. You could contact restaurants, cafes, hotels, marketing agencies. You could contact vetting agencies. You could contact events management companies. Any local business that needs leads, that needs online marketing, anything to do with video editing, graphic design, Google Ads, organic posting, and things like that. Almost any business really needs that. And now I want to show you a few templates, and you can use these templates, just change them based on the service and the market niche as we discuss, okay, in this video. So first of all, an example template. So if you, let's say, after watching this video, decide that, you know what, Tom, I really want to go into the web design niche. Can you show me some template that I would send to this business? So you go to the business, right? and you can, for example, type all your information and you can send that message. So I'm talking about that template that you would actually send. And also quite often you would be able to find an email. Okay, so let's go to the contact page. Maybe there's going to be an email as well that we can send. In this case, there's no email, but you can leave the contact information on here, drop in the message, and in other cases, sometimes there is an email that you can send as well. So in this field, you would essentially drop in something like this. Okay. So for the web design example, let's just say, we're now looking into working with personal trainers, right? And we want to make a website for them. So it would sound something like this. Hey, Adam, I specialize in developing rockstar websites for personal trainers like you. Let me help you attract more fitness clients and increase your bookings. Interesting, best, Tom. Of course, this would be your name. And of course, this would be your niche. So if you are, for example, in a different niche, let's say real estate, you could type in, developing rockstar websites for real estate agents like you. Let me help you attract more real estate clients and maximize your revenue. Interested? Something like this. Okay, so just change those keywords in your service niche and your market niche. Next example. Let's just say you're going for drop servicing, making long form YouTube videos. Hey, Adam, do you need a video editor? Here's one of my example videos. Here you would put your portfolio. If you want to watch how to create your portfolio, watch some other tutorials on my channel. I've got a lot of tutorials where I show how to make a portfolio. If you want to see the example video, if you like what you see in the example video, let me know and I can become your editor too. Hundreds of you guys already use this template. You know how I know that? Because, some of you actually send it to me as well. I've gotten about 100 emails maybe in the last few months of this exact template where you just guys put in my name and you even put my own testimonials that, my company got, and you just send it to me. This is funny, but if you send it to me, I'm sure you're sending it to other people. So this template has been used by hundreds of people already, and it's good. This is the testimonials that my drop servicing agency got, so hopefully you're using your own testimonials. If you don't have any testimonials, feel free to use them. I don't care, to be honest. Okay. So this really adds some social proof, and this is a portfolio that is extremely, extremely important in video editing niche. Most people would read the email, they click on your portfolio. It must be on YouTube as an unlisted video. They click on it. If they watch the video, if they like your portfolio, typically they would reply. If the portfolio is not good, you're gonna struggle. And a final example I want to show you, short form video editing. What is short form video editing? TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube Shorts. Okay, 5 different avenues where you can actually offer this service. This is a lot. A lot of small businesses don't even have a TikTok account. A lot of small businesses don't have a LinkedIn account. And you can offer them not only to create the LinkedIn account and manage it, but also if they send you some content, you can edit it for them, for their Instagram, for their TikTok, and things like that. It can be content creators, like, for example, in this case, we're looking at YouTubers, right? So content creators, but also it can be small businesses, for example, real estate agents, right? So you can find local real estate agencies in your area where you live, or perhaps somewhere in the US, UK, and you can send them an email or an Instagram message or a LinkedIn message like this. Hey, Adam, as a real estate video editor, I can help you elevate your NYC house tours with captivating short form videos. Interested? Let's chat. Here is my work examples. Again, you need to have a portfolio. Super important. Best Tom, of course, this is your name. And NYC means New York City. for those of you not from the US and not working in the US market, just add the keywords that you need here. If you work in Canadian market or European markets, whatever, just say London, or just say Amsterdam, or just say Chicago, whatever that needs to be. So guys, I just showed you free templates. Feel free to use them. Feel free to customize them as you see fit. So I really showed you just one example at the moment, right? In terms of how to find a local business, how to offer them something. But, the other important part is how to actually find these clients at scale. Because, yes, you can find maybe, I don't know, 10 or 20 or 30 emails per day, right? And a lot of you guys don't have much time. If you have only 1 or 2 hours per day, maybe 10 or 20 emails per day is realistic. So it starts to compound, right? So let's say if you're getting 10 emails per day, after 30 days, you're going to have 300 emails. This is not that much, right? So what can you do? Again, going back to Fiverr, what we can do is we can type in, let's say, real estate agent emails. Okay. So there is people out there building email lists for you. That's awesome, right? So if you don't have the time and you can't, let's say you have an hour or two per day, what you can essentially do is you can hire 2 types of people on Fiverr. Those who already have a built-in email list that they're just reselling like a product. Okay, I'll show you an example of one of them very, very soon. But also, you can find people who simply actually do the research on behalf of you, right? So they go to Google Maps, they go to Google, they go to LinkedIn and find businesses that essentially match your criteria. So you tell them, for example, I want real estate agents in the US. I want their email addresses, phone numbers, and also the company name, right? With that information, the person will actually build an email list, okay? So I'm going to show you 2 examples of what I mean. So this one is a guy who's actually going to actually collect an email list, okay? So for 1,000 emails, it's going to be $90. So this guy will actually collect emails, okay? And this example is the other example where you can just buy a pre-made list, okay? So 20K UK email list of estate agents, property agents, okay? $25 for 20K email list, okay? That's actually not a bad deal. But if you think about it, this person is selling the exact same list to, dozens and dozens and dozens of people, 1 hour of work. So he essentially already has a list that he will send to you. And what is the problem? The problem is that a lot of people have it and a lot of people market to this list. That's why it's not costing that much. And also that's why a lot of people will really not reply because this list will be overused, right? But when you're paying somebody to actually create an email list from scratch, this is as good as you doing the research. So how can you prevent that somebody does a bad job and really just scrapes those emails quickly and doesn't put enough work into them and they're not original emails? What I typically do when I buy services like this, and I've bought it many, many times, is first of all, I create a Google Sheet. In that Google Sheet, I added this supplier after purchasing on here, and then I say to the supplier, what I want you to do, as you do the research, I want you to add all these emails into the Google Sheet, the exact Google Sheet that I created. Then in the Google Sheet, I can see the history at what time he added which emails. If I see that he didn't do anything and then dropped in like 1,000 emails at once or even 100 emails at once, this would be a red flag for me because then I would think, okay, how did he not do anything? And then suddenly he got a batch of emails very quickly at the same time. And if he actually adds the emails in a very consistent way, maybe every few minutes, then I know that, okay, he was probably going to the website, getting an email, coming back to the sheet, pasting it there, and then repeating the same cycle. You know, that's one thing. The other thing is, once the supplier completes the work, gets to 1,000 leads, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna check every single one of these. It's gonna take too long, right? Not gonna go to every single website. I'm not gonna check every single email. But I choose maybe 20 or 30 different emails from this 1,000 list, right? And I just go one by one, check the website, check the email, and see if things match. Okay? If things match, chances are the entire 1,000 email list is going to be absolutely fine. If I see some problems, that has, to be honest, almost never happened to me. I had maybe one case where I had a few problems, but eventually it was resolved. But if, let's say, I check those emails and I see that, hang on a minute, on their website, they didn't have this email, or this email was different, then I would message this guy and say, are these emails legit? Where did you get them? And things like that. You know, that's how you can check if those emails are legit. I've personally made thousands of dollars from some lists. So I had a case, I remember it as it was yesterday, but it was a couple of years ago. I bought one email list off of Fiverr, and the price was around 200 USD. From that email list, I made about $3,000 or $4,000. Okay, so I was email marketing. Then I got a couple of clients actually from that list. And then, you know, that client was a recurring client, so he paid me money. So I made like 20 times the return on that email list, which is crazy, right? So, and I didn't do any research as well. So it was all done for me, put on a plate. You know, I just got an email list that I could email. It was perfect. And yeah, that return was awesome. Do Google research as well, right? So I can go on here, right? And find, for example, local businesses this way. Okay, let's say, let's open a few of these clinics. This is part of University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, we're not going to go for that. This seems very, very corporate. I have a feeling that it could be part of a chain, but maybe not. Okay, so we could potentially contact them. Let's go and see if they even have an email on there. Yeah, they have an email. We could potentially send an email and offer something for them. It could be Google ads, for example. It could be organic posting, again, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and things like that. But the website, I think, is actually quite good. I don't think they would buy a new one. Let's look at this one. Again, it looks also quite good at the website. But again, who these guys always need? They always need more leads. Okay. So again, Google ads we can offer and other marketing things as well. This is also another very good way. When you search for a keyword, let's say Philadelphia Dental Clinic, look for sponsored listings. What this really gives away is that, well, if they're sponsoring right now, so they're paying money on Google, they actually need clients. Maybe it's a new business. Maybe it's a business that's struggling to attract clients. So they need some marketing help. Maybe they need somebody to improve the performance of their ads. Maybe they need somebody to get a new website done. This website doesn't look very good for me, honestly. Like I'll be honest. It looks super old school. Look at this logo. It's really busy. It doesn't look up to standard, personally. So you could contact them, right? You could, for example, again, fill in all this information, add a message. You know, you would customize it. So, for example, hey, in this case, we don't know the name, right? So it would be just, hey, I specialize in developing rockstar websites for dental clinics in Philadelphia area. Better, right? Because we're talking about a specific business in a specific area, right? Let me help you attract more dental patients and increase your bookings. or revenue, interested best Tom. So something like this, okay? And we could, we could send them a message like that, and hopefully they get back to us. Also, if you're feeling like really brave, you could give them a call, right? You could give them a call and just be like, say the exact same thing. I specialize in developing rockstar websites for dental clinics in Philadelphia area. Are you interested? Or you could, inquire about their services, get into some humanly conversation, and then later on say that, actually I'm calling from a marketing agency. Would you guys be interested in, improving your website? Because I see that you advertise on Google Ads, right? You're sponsoring on Google Ads, but your website is not up to the standards. And, that's why maybe you're spending a lot of money, but the website is not converting that well. Could I help you to make a better website? And also, maybe you need some help with Google Ads. Maybe I can improve your current results. Things like that. But first of all, maybe get into, some discussion. Don't go like straight for the pitch. So, cold calls is not easy. And usually I focus on sending an email, scheduling a call with the founder or the manager or the director, and then I go through the pitch on a video call. So I show some screens, I show some work examples that I get from, let's say, the suppliers, and by doing that, it's a lot easier than doing a cold call. But some of you guys might feel super brave, and maybe you have some experience with doing cold calls and you can land people on the phone. So this is an introduction into how to find drop servicing clients. But if you want to have more information about it, I actually have a 3-hour-long video on YouTube which goes through 20 most common strategies to find drop servicing clients. It's got so much information. That video is approaching 20K views, so that's a really good one. You should watch it after you finish this video. Next is going to be creating an invoice and getting paid a deposit. So let's go back to this. So let's just say this business is interested in creating a new website. Okay. What is your first step? So after you had a call with the manager or the founder and they're interested in working with you, the very first step is you need to agree what the price is going to be for that service, right? So let's say it's a dental clinic and, the price was high. You managed to secure, let's say, $2,500 to make their website. It's a normal price because, a dental clinic in Philadelphia area can for sure afford $2,500 to redesign the website. They could afford even more, I'm sure, right? But you're going to spend 300, okay, let's say 500. Let's say you're going to go for even better supplier, right? And $500, your supplier is going to work for 2 weeks or 3 weeks to make this website. It's going to be very, very good. And you're going to spend $500. You can totally get a very, very good supplier to make a simple WordPress or Wix or Squarespace website for $500. Absolutely doable. Okay. So you're going to make $2,000, right? Profit. The other thing is, when you're starting drop servicing, I always recommend working with prepayments and especially deposits, because what can happen? It's an established business, like it's a dental clinic. They're unlikely to disappear. But in general, when we're talking about drop servicing business model, I always recommend that you guys get into the habit of, actually asking for deposits. So what is the deposit that I'm proposing? 20 to 30%. Okay. So $500. Okay. 20% of 2,500 is $500. And you're already at zero. You have absolutely no risk, right? Because you got the money up front, you spend that money on Fiverr, you're at zero. This is good news, because whatever happens to this deal, right? To this dental clinic, whatever happens, if it goes bankrupt tomorrow, let's say, right? Unlikely to happen, but in theoretical example, right? you already made your money back. You're at zero, right? And after the deal finishes, of course, hopefully you deliver a good website, and hopefully you get $2,000 payment at the end of this process. Okay, and that's going to be your profit. So the key is the deposit should more or less match what you're gonna spend on your supplier. This is the key. And always ask for deposits, guys. Please do that, because in that way, you're never gonna lose any money. Okay, so how to actually create an invoice to send to a potential client to first get a deposit. If you go to the website called canva.com, right? And then in the search bar, type in black and white, clean, modern invoice. Okay. This is the template that we're going to be customizing. Okay. Canva, by the way, is a free website, and a lot of the stuff on here is completely free that you can use in your business. Okay. This, for example, is a super useful invoice template that doesn't cost anything. I can just use it completely free. I customize it for my clients. I'm actually using this exact template for my clients, and I built thousands of dollars using this template. So it's really good. Okay, so with this template, what essentially you're gonna do? Here you're gonna put your company name, so LLC, LTD, whatever the structure is. If you don't have a company, if you, for example, are registered as sole trader, self-employed, or if you're not registered at all and you're just trading in your own personal name, you would simply delete this, right? And you just write your name, okay? In that case, you're essentially acting as yourself. So as a person, you're providing a service to another person or another company, okay? But typically, you would, at the end of the day, create some kind of a limited company, LLC, LTD, or register as a sole trader, because typically you need to do that. And so does it mean that everybody has to have a company to do drop servicing? No. You can register as a sole trader. What that essentially means is you're trading as yourself in your own name. You don't have to register a company necessarily in every single case. But I'm not providing any legal advice, any financial advice, and things like that. If you want things like that, consult an accountant, consult a lawyer. Now, in here, invoice number, you're going to start with pretty much 001. Okay, typically that's the thing. So after some time, when you get another client, you're going to type in 2, you're going to change the date. So this is today's date. Okay, so when you get the next client and you change this template again, you're going to change it to a day in the future again. Okay, so let's just say this is our very first, order. Here, you're going to add your company number if you have an LLC or LTD and your address. If you don't have a company number because you're, for example, acting as yourself, trading as yourself, right? Then you just add your address. Now, in here, this is what the bill is for, okay? So it could be a person, it could be a company. So this is essentially your client's information. If it's a company, it's going to be something LLC, something LTD, and client's address. Sometimes you also need to add their tax information like VAT number and things like that. So, but your client will tell you what to put in this. You can ask them if you're not sure. Here, you add, let's say, digital marketing services. Here is the price. This is, of course, is the agreed price. So let's just say you want to get this amount overall. This sounds great, but your supplier is only going to agree to, let's say, a deposit for now and the full payment after the service is fully done. So what you're essentially going to do, as we just discussed, from 2,500, you ask for 20%, which is 500. So we modify these amounts, 500, 500, 500, right? And then here it's your bank details, okay? So your bank name, your sort code or routing number in the US, account number, and things like that. Okay. And here, terms and conditions, that basically means, when the payment needs to be paid. So you can change this to whatever you want. Payment is due on the invoice date means that as soon as they get an invoice, they have to pay it, right? Or you can change it to within 7 days, within 3 days, and things like that. So then you would go share and you would click download. Okay. When you do that, you get this template into your computer. Okay. And then you can send that PDF to your client by email. Okay. But there's another approach as well. A lot of you guys, listen to my advice and actually use PayPal. And I actually use PayPal as well quite often, especially with, the first time that I'm working with a client. I want to use PayPal because it establishes more trust, and a lot of people think, oh, if it's PayPal, it's safer, and I'm happy to work with this supplier. So there is a website called paypal.com/invoice, US invoice/invoice template generator. So if you go to this exact URL, there is a PayPal builder where you can essentially choose a currency, right? You can add customer's name, customer's email, all this stuff, and also your own logo. So exactly the same things. And you can add, of course, the prices and things like that as well. Okay. So that's essentially the same thing what we're doing on Canva, but here you're sending to the person the information how to pay. There's no way to pay. It just shows your bank details, your bank information. Okay. But there's no actual way to pay. With this approach, using PayPal, when you send it, when you click send, it will prompt you to log in. So you have to create a PayPal account in order to use this function. Or you can actually do the exact same thing. When you log into PayPal, you can create an invoice and send it to your clients. So we would add the same thing. We would write 500 if it's a deposit. And in here, you can write a note. For example, $500 deposit. So the client, when he receives this, he'll see, oh, there's a note, which is $500 deposit for website design. Okay. And of course, it's going to come from your email. So the person will know, who is sending it, and there's going to be your name and email address on there as well. Okay. So now let's talk about how to actually hire freelancers and deliver the actual service. Now that we got a payment from our client, let's say $500, the deposit, right? Like we were talking about. In this case, we got $500, okay, to make a website. Let's say we go for this specific listing, right? How can we know it's a good one? So how can we hire this supplier? Why do we think it's a good idea? Fiverr gives you a lot of clues. First of all, we know our budget is $500, right? So if we go here, a standard website, 7 pages, and here 450, let's see what they have e-commerce. We don't need e-commerce, right? Because we are building a standard website, okay? So we're going for the $300 option. What it tells us that actually that's great. So whatever happens, we are already $200 in profit. Before we got the further payments, we are already in profit. This is amazing, right? That's the goal, right? We don't want to spend this 500. Ideally, the deposit is even more than the payment for supplier. That way, we are not risking any of our own money, but also we're profiting from the very beginning, okay? But, okay, let's also look at some other things. Why this can be a good supplier or maybe it's a bad supplier. First of all, it's got a lot of orders in the queue. Okay, 16 orders in the queue right now. That's a very good sign. Typically, more than 5 orders in the queue is a very good sign. 16 is actually a lot. It has 5 stars. All the feedbacks are 5 stars, nearly 500 feedbacks. Very, very good. Next, it shows people are coming back. Exceptionally high number of repeat buyers. A lot of saves, over 2,600 people. Let's go and see the feedback. and see where he's from. He's from Pakistan. Response time 1 hour. Very, very good. Last delivery about 8 hours ago. Member since 2016. So 8 years ago. Okay. And let's see some feedbacks. He did an incredible job building my website. Extremely picky. Amazing. Absolutely good. Pleasure working with. It just looks like this is probably a very good supplier. But what else should you be really looking at? Delivery time, okay? And how many revisions, and also what is included, okay? So in the standard one, you can see these are the things that are included. So for example, if you need payment processing and e-commerce capabilities, then you're gonna have to go for this one, okay, which includes everything, okay? It's quite a good supplier. Actually, I'm gonna save it as well for my own future projects. So as you can see, guys, this is a pretty good supplier. It's not a textbook example, but it's actually a pretty good one. Free revisions means that 3 times he can make changes. So if your client says, I want to change a few things, this, they give you all the feedback. You send to this guy, he can make changes. And he can deliver this website in 10 days. And finally, so how can you actually fulfill the service? Assuming that you got a deal with this pet health center that we were talking about a few minutes ago, assuming they paid you a deposit of 500, with this money, you can buy this service from this supplier, right? You're going to spend $300, and within 10 days, he's going to make the website, okay? So once you buy it, once you click continue, as soon as you paid, you can add the requirements. So those requirements you need to get from this supplier, okay? And please make sure that those requirements are as clear as possible. So you want to get all the requirements in one go. So talk to the client, maybe by email, maybe on WhatsApp, or the best case scenario on a call, and really gather all the requirements in one go, so that when you add them on Fiverr, the supplier can deliver the project in one go without too many revisions. Because the less revisions there are, the better for you. There is less work for you and less communication as well. Regarding the final payments, so let's say we got the deposit first, we spent 300, we only got $200 left, but it's already profit, and they still have to pay us $2,000. So let's say the project went well, you got the files from this guy called Inam Ullah, and those files you're gonna send to your client, and if the client already has a webmaster, they can host it themselves, right? Typically in the requirements, you would agree. Do you just send the final website and they host it themselves, or do you help them to host it, or do you even do it on behalf of them? And if, for example, your client doesn't know how to host this website, you can simply ask this supplier or any other supplier, can you please help me to set up the hosting? And you can pay him, let's say $50 for doing that. And you can set it up for your client, change the password, and give the passwords to your client so they can actually log in, okay? And the exact same process works for every single niche. Video editing, graphic design, brand identity, Google Ads, and things like that. More or less, it's the same process. More or less, it's the same process. We're collecting a deposit, we're getting a client, we're fulfilling the work, and we're getting paid, okay? With, let's say, recurring niches, because web design is typically not a recurring niche, it's a one-time order. But with recurring niches like, let's say, YouTube video editing, short-form video editing, Google Ads, and things like that, we're typically not getting a deposit. We're just getting a monthly payment before the work starts. So every single month, in advance, they have to pay for that month. If you follow this strategy, you're always going to succeed in this business model, and you're never actually going to lose any money. And finally, once the order is fully complete, a lot of people don't do that. And you're only going to hear this advice on this channel because I've done it many times and I know how to win the clients back. how to get the clients to order from you once and then come back again for more services, or potentially create a recurring revenue stream. So after I conclude an order with somebody, I want to jump on a call, right? Talk to them, ask if they're satisfied. If not, maybe I can do something for them to be satisfied. Maybe everything is not exactly as they envisioned. Maybe I can make one more revision with the supplier. So once I make sure that they are completely happy, and I thank them for the service, and I just ask, if you need any other marketing help, please please let me know. Maybe I can help you with Google ads, Facebook ads, video editing, anything else really. And typically the clients would say, you know what, actually, yeah, I need this, or I need that, or my friends are thinking about starting a new website. You offered very good service, you are nice, the website is really good that you delivered, so I'm happy to actually refer you to somebody else. And a lot of people don't do these follow-up calls after delivering a project. They just deliver the project and just disappear. That's not a good approach. You really should be taking this seriously and doing a follow-up call after the project is done. I hope that this drop servicing tutorial was super helpful. But if you still need help, you have questions, doubts, you're not sure about something, I actually have a one-on-one drop servicing mentorship. It lasts for 3 months, and I teach you everything from A to Z, how to start drop servicing, and help you and give you customized advice. If you want to apply for my 3 months drop servicing mentorship, drop an email down below and we can chat about it. Thanks for watching this video. I'm going to see you in the next video.